Welcome, everybody, to the Raad Life, the only talk radio show that takes you along with host and age explorer Raad on his continuing journey of discovery into life's challenges, opportunities, options, and all the latest and greatest things that come with getting older. The Rad Life is brought to you this week by Your Home for a Lifetime, a company dedicated to empowering you to stay safely, independently, and comfortably in your own home. And now here is your host, Raad.
Raad Gantos, where's Raad Gantos? That doesn't look like Raad Gantos there. Who we got? We got a guest host. You went from being a guest to a guest host. We have Cece Leyton here. Who knew?
Hello, everyone.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So where's the great Rodster?
He is missing in action today, so I am stepping in for him. Big
All right.
shoes to fill, but
I'm
we'll
sure
make
you
it
can.
happen.
I'm sure you can handle it here before. So remind us who you are. I know you were a guest here once before. For those that missed that episode, tell us who you are, Cece.
I am Cece Leyton, a designer, luxury resort designer for Cece La Isla Vida.
Okay. All right. That's it. And from that, and who'd you bring with you today?
I brought Terese Santos, an extraordinary woman with 30 years of experience in entrepreneurship.
All right. Well, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about life, right? Because this is the
Life.
Rad Life.
We got to do this
show.
in an hour. We got to
Yes.
get all of life in an
Well,
hour.
we women are capable of doing that, right, Terese?
We're capable of pretty much anything.
True. But we're going to be sharing the obstacles that she has gone through.
All right.
And
The only obstacle we're going to have, we've got to get you a little closer, Cece.
Okay, there we go.
There
Is
you
that
go.
better?
All right. That's
Okay.
better. All right. Go ahead.
And she's also going to be sharing the tips, the greatness that has got her to where she is today. So I'm excited to tap into that brain and, get
Now,
some
do we need
information
a pen?
to
Do we
share.
have to take notes, or is this, is this just learn as you listen here?
I would say either or, right?
Okay.
Highly recommended.
And
Okay. All right. I'm going to let you girls take off. I'm going to just sit here and be the quiet engineer, which is not easy because in Rod's show I talk a lot. So.
Well, Terese Santos, thank you so much for being here today. And tell us about what Beauty for the Soul is.
Well, first of all, Beauty for the Soul mentorship. It is something that probably was really a creation my whole life. It's everything I know to be true as far as what works for women, especially in the area of life and business, and it's a little bit of soul medicine at the core. And I happen to believe that a lot of the things that I have done over the years and learned as I evolved with my own business and my own life, Cece, is that I learned that so much of what I did was very counterintuitive to what women are chasing and doing today, trying to get it all done, and these wearing busy like a badge of honor.
Right.
And, carrying around these to-do lists that are, ridiculous when there's actually a strategy and scientific fact.
Oh, my goodness.
That illustrates just the opposite is true. You can get so much more done when you're coming from an incredible, more calm soul.
So tell me about, you just talked about the busy list that we have as women, which we all do. I mean, like you said, some of us are very proud of it. I don't know if you manage it well at times, but how do you balance that? How do you balance your personal life with your career? And I know you have a generous heart of giving. How do you balance all that?
Well, I'm at a different place in life today, so I can speak to every woman because I know what it's like to be a young mom in my 20s, and now my 2 adult sons are in their 30s.
Right.
So I do know what it's like for that new startup.
Okay.
Maybe that new startup is also a new mom, or maybe she's got she's transitioning in life. But either way, we all have to have an origin, a beginning, and so mine was really. I think the question was, how do I balance? Balance is something I never really try to strive for. I really just learned to listen to the whispers of my own heart, and to really kind of sit on that for a moment. What does that mean? I make sure that I am taking care of my own happiness first.
Good.
And I figured out a while back that we've all heard that expression, if mama ain't happy, right? And
no one's happy.
there's so much truth to that, but even more truth when you are a woman entrepreneur. And whether you're a startup or you're trying to get to that, that 6 or 7 figure, income level, it is something even more important than that. You have your own personal hour of power in the morning. I have a lot of strategies, or, I wouldn't even say the word strategies these days. It's more because the language of the soul is ritual.
Okay.
So I have some really beautiful yet easy to integrate rituals that have made my life of more harmony than not. There have been times that I've, nobody can go through life and not have a couple speed bumps.
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean, I think that's life in itself. And you're talking about, like, for you, it's rituals, and for me, what I like to call it, I think we all do the same things. We just choose different words that connect better with us, right? For me, it's the piece of hiking. That's where I really learned to de-stress, right? Replenish, regain strength, and get clarity in some of the obstacles that I'm facing. So it's important, like you're saying, to find that thing that provides you that clarity, that peace that allows you to have the strength to move forward with those obstacles that you're facing, or a balanced life.
Well, you said a word, you used the word clarity, and it's one of the most powerful words when people understand what that really can do for them. For example, money loves clarity.
Yes.
Right? And I think that there really is something to the happiness influence. And when somebody strives as women, because so often, I don't know about you, Cece, but I grew up where I didn't witness my mother taking care of herself. I didn't witness her having this, Zen den, if you will, or having her time to meditate or go to yoga or go out there and garden or do the things that she loved to do. I saw her stressed. I saw her, and so moving forward, most women, even today, I work with a lot of women that even though we have so much more awareness why this is so important, but they still walk around wearing this invisible G on their forehead, and that G represents guilt.
Oh my goodness, that is so true.
Yeah.
That is so true. I mean, that's things that I've experienced, but have been able to overcome in a sense, where I think about it and I tell myself, how can I give the best of me, right? The most loving person that I am. How can I give that strength if I do not give that to myself? And I have to take care of myself in order to be able to give that to others. So that is absolutely true. And there are times where you do feel guilty because there's so many things that as women we have to take care of. And we think if we're not there in that hour, things aren't getting done or things are falling apart. But you realize this, right? They don't fall apart. Things get taken care of. Our kids step in, our husbands step in, or your partners in business, and it gets done. And it's so important to invest in ourselves without feeling guilty.
Well, even to expand on that, even if they're not being done by somebody else, here's what happens is that when we approach anything from a stressed space, thinking we have to be the one to do it all or doing it stressed, it's certainly never going to be the result that we want, that end result. So it just is there's so much wisdom found in quiet and taking that, taking the time to nourish and nurture yourself and then reapproach when you feel refreshed. And it's amazing. And then it's fun.
Yes.
Nothing is ever as good. The end result is never as good when it's not done from a place of calm and joy and really this place where there's an energetic thing happening.
Right.
And money is energy. Success is energy. And every transaction is energy, and we're beings of light. And so if we're not replenishing ourselves, then we certainly aren't delivering. You know, we're not representing how we want to represent in the world. Any projects we're involved with are not quite the same.
Right.
And then there's the worst thing that happens after that, pain or regret.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And
yes.
this is completely connected to people's stress again, right?
Yes, right.
Yes.
Wow, you have so much wisdom, and I love that you're sharing that with us.
Thank you.
And I read that your dad is one of your greatest mentors.
Thank you for asking. And right now, I still get to say is. My dad is actually one of my heroes, and gratefully, he's been battling 3 different stage 4 cancers for the last 5 years. Now, that's a long time.
Yes.
That tells you his strength,
His resilience.
his result, which is another one of my favorite words,
Yes.
right? But the reason I grew up on the shores of Lake Michigan,
Okay.
on the Wisconsin side, and I grew up in. My dad had 4 daughters, and he was a very independent man, yet I'm the only one that actually followed his footprints of not really having a job. I think I had a job, Cece, 2 days my whole life.
Well, that's interesting.
I've always been I've always had some kind of business, and
Wow.
and I didn't realize until later that he truly had so much more influence on me than I even realized at the time. And it was just maybe 6 months ago that, you know, every conversation I have with my dad right now is precious, even
that's
more
beautiful.
precious.
Of course.
And if my dad calls, it doesn't matter what's on my schedule, everything stops.
That's beautiful.
And in one of these recent conversations, I mean, he's 77 years old, and I said to him, how come I'm just learning this now about you? And he was telling me, we're just kind of talking about, you know, my business and different projects, and all just out of the blue, he says to me, well, you know, I can appreciate that. He goes, I took a risk, and I went, really? And he said, oh yeah, more than anybody ever knew. I had I graduated from Marquette University with an engineering degree, and right after college, I took a job. But he goes, it wasn't satisfying me. I knew that there was so much more inside me. And I said, so what did you do? And he said, well, I spent every cent that I had, and I was able to get a piece of property. I bought 20 acres of land. By the way, the same land that I grew up on.
Oh, wow. Oh, how cool.
And I quit my job. Your mother was pregnant with your sister, Terese. You were 3 years old. And I had a paper route.
Wow.
As I did a paper route morning and evening, and in between the paper route, I was building our family home.
Wow.
And I was trying to build my own business. And I kept that paper route for 5 years until I no longer needed it.
That's incredible.
And so I said, you took a risk on a paper route and yourself. You know?
That's amazing.
Isn't that
and that's
great?
Great inspiration.
Yeah.
Inspiration because, as you know, sometimes some of the greatest platforms come from things like that can get us to that next level. And let me ask you more on a deeper level.
Sure.
Being an entrepreneur myself and balancing where I lost my father 2 years ago to stroke, that was a little difficult during that time to balance everything, right? My career, my passion. I know what would help me navigate through that time, that difficult time, was prayer and refocusing, at times putting my business on hold, certain things that were not crucial, right? Because I think as women, we tend to place everything with importance and high importance, and it needs to get done. I learned that there are certain things that can be done today and tomorrow can wait with other things. How are you navigating through that right now?
The same way I always did. And I appreciate the fact that we have that in common, right? It sounds like you were really close to your dad as well. And no matter what's going on in our life, we're never going to ever go, that's not what our promise was.
Right.
you know, to
Absolutely.
go through a challenge-free life. And in fact, I kind of figured out something that when something frustrating is happening in my life, or there really is this obvious challenge, I now know, and I'm so serious about this, I now know that something really good is right around the corner.
Yes.
So when frustration
Yes.
is happening, or there is a challenge,
Mhm.
now I can go, okay,
Uh-huh.
okay. Doesn't make the challenge any easier
Right.
because it still has to be dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
But if there is a mindset now where I don't go to that worry space.
Okay.
I don't drop into fear.
Right.
Now I just know, okay, because when you understand how God works,
Mm-hmm.
you certainly worry less.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Abs-
Amen to that.
Amen. But what I really want to say here is that if you can come to this space, no matter what you're going through, is to have a conscious interrupt,
Okay.
which means stop. Self-talk is everything. And so when you just can say to yourself, all right, this is happening.
Right.
And resilience is a big word. So if we can harness and nurture our own ability to be resilient, no matter what the challenge is, here's how you can handle that. Here's a little secret. Should I share a secret?
Absolutely.
How
That's
to
what
handle
we're here for.
resilience? Okay. So no matter what's happening, especially with the uncertain things,
Right.
where
Scary.
the scary things, whether it's money, divorce, a diagnosis, or something kind of final, right? You can just say to yourself, and if you can train your brain to go this way, and that is you stop and you go, maybe this is good, maybe this is bad, but either way I'm okay.
Right. That's
Maybe this
amazing.
is good, maybe this is bad, but either way I'm okay. And I bet you could think of all those times in your past where those things of uncertainty, where you could ask yourself this question, maybe this is good,
Right.
but our default button is usually set on, boy, this is bad.
Yes. And it's true. We tend to focus on the fear, the difficulty of whatever the situation is. For example, for not as extreme as that, but even me sitting here interviewing you is out of my comfort zone. It's part of fear that creeps in. And one of the things I've learned that fear is good if you look at it that way, right? In this sense, where it's going to propel me to something greater. It's part of my growth. And so when
Are you feeling it?
Yes. And when you start to realize that fear is part of our life, it's what we do in those moments that really makes that transformation in our lives, that impact.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really our whole attitude toward fear. And so it is something that if we just can almost flirt with it a little bit and go, okay, so you're showing up again. What's going on here?
Yeah.
And then, but this whole thing, I want to just make sure I want our listeners, whether they're joining us live or maybe on a playback, to understand that if you can have that, see, people don't often dwell on things that are good. Right? But that's why we go, people that dwell are unwell. And so if you can just kind of tap into a place and time where you know for a fact that, you know, any of those past perceived at the moment really bad things were happening, how often do those bad things end up being a blessing?
So true.
How often?
So true. Or not as bad as we thought it was, right?
Exactly.
It could have been us being uncomfortable, but it didn't really hurt us. It actually helped us.
Or it could have really been bad at the moment.
True.
At the moment. But with resilience to hang in there and not quit.
Yes.
See, life, anybody can quit.
Oh, yes. That's the easy
Right,
part,
right?
right? Yeah.
But winners are self-elected.
Right. Yeah.
But truly, it's always on this other side of frustration and challenge that I found my greatest results. I mean, I'm so serious about this. So when the brief message is that whenever somebody's frustrated, you either can approach it as stress and fear and all these signs to quit,
Okay.
or you can go ahead and say, all right, on the other side of this, see, only through frustration does innovation
and breakthrough happens,
right?
right?
Innovation,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Let's see. I also wanted to know a little bit more about what it's like to be a client of yours. If you can share that with that mentorship, like how do you encourage others that, let's say, they're in that space where they know what they want to do, they know how far they want to go, but they may not have that belief in them.
Sure.
How do you come in there and change that around for them?
So now we're really speaking my language
Yes.
because I think that I make sure people know that I understand completely, because people see my life now. They see where I live. They see my lifestyle, and they assume it's always been that way. Okay. And the truth is that even though I shared with you how I have this adoration for my father, the truth is I left home, Cece, on the night of high school graduation. I was 17 years old. And most people that leave home, they either leave home with a Hollywood dream, which I did not have, or they leave home because it's not a good place.
Right.
Right? So I was B. And I left home. I went to high school graduation, came home, had cake, and I moved out.
Wow.
And I had less than $200 to my name.
Incredible.
And there was certainly a gap between 17 and 29. And why is 29 relevant? Because I earned my first million at 29 years old.
Awesome.
Yeah. And so in that gap, lessons were learned. I also had my children. I know what it's like to wonder and fret about, how do I feed my kids? Am I going to be able to keep my electricity on? Is rent at that time going to be paid for? And so it was, that was the beginning.
Wow, it looks like we have a call, Terese.
Terrific.
We do. You have propelled somebody to pick up the phone, which
Yes,
doesn't
I
happen
love
every
it.
day here. Caller, identify yourself.
Well, I feel like I'm Charlie and you're Bosley.
We can't really hear.
Hello?
You got to put your headsets on there. Oh, I'm sorry, right below you there.
Oh, right here?
There you go. I know the girls didn't want to wear their headsets. Now we're going to force it
Hold
here.
on a second. How come they get away with that and I don't?
We're women.
They're women. They did not want to
You know,
wear
I
headsets.
was gonna say hello, angels, but not after that.
Nice.
Who is this?
So yeah, who is this? Who is this?
I'm kidding, Raad.
Wow! Like, did she change the furniture too? Paul?
Everything.
We've just about changed the logo to the Cece Life here. We're getting ready to take that down today here. And
Yeah, we thought it would be
Oh my
better.
God, what have I done?
No, you've created a monster, so thank you. Thank you
No,
for that.
I have not created a monster. I knew exactly what I was doing.
Oh my
You know me by now. Please.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Right. So no, I've been watching the show. I stepped away and wanted to just catch the beginning of the show before going back into the scope.
And where are you at right now? Do we get to ask, or are you on a secret mission again?
I am actually at the Commercial Real Estate Lending Conference in Long Beach at the Hilton.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
And I had the privilege of being on a hospitality investment panel with a few people that actually we have had on the show, the California Check Out California show.
See how he ties this together. He always has to
Yes.
plug things.
Of
There's a
course.
lesson to be learned on this here. Yeah.
Well, I'm learning.
Okay, so now that I was rudely interrupted once again by Paul, I feel like I'm in the studio, Paul. Honestly, like nothing has changed today.
Well, I miss you because I'm overwhelmed by beauty and by the beautiful conversation they're having, and I'm dumbfounded. I haven't been able to say anything all show here. So
I have to tell you, ladies, congratulations first and foremost on making Paul
silent.
quiet.
Wow, thank you. That's awesome.
It doesn't happen often, so kudos and hats off to you both.
Thank
you. The gentleman who co-hosts the Check Out California, my friend and co-host Craig Sullivan, was the moderator on a panel on hospitality investment, and we had Larry Broughton, who was from Barton Hospitality, who was also on the Check Out California, and Stephen Sneff and myself, and it was a great panel, and we're about to jump in there. But I just wanted to say thank you, Cece, for jumping in.
No, thank you for allowing me to have this opportunity and for my growth. Thank you.
You're doing great, and remember, life starts at the edge of your comfort zone, right?
That's
Yes.
absolutely true.
Exactly right. All right, go.
I had a question though.
Oh, you have a question? I thought you were
he
just.
really has
I
a
do.
question.
I thought you were just complimenting
Yes, I
him.
do.
Okay.
I do. No. Well, hello, angels. I have a question.
Yes,
And
Charlie.
Paul, no, you
Yeah.
cannot. You don't get. Yes, Charlie. Oh, I like that. Paul,
makes
we're
me-
gonna have to schedule Cece back on.
That makes me Bosley. I feel dumb when I'm Bosley. Okay, all right.
Oh,
Bosley had all the power.
yes,
Is,
true.
is he wearing cargo shorts today?
No, I actually
No,
wore
you
long
actually-
pants.
yes.
It was weird. I put
They're
long
long
pants on, and
cargos.
That's right, Mr. Cargo Pants over here.
I thought, why am I putting long pants on? Nobody's coming in the studio today, but Raad. So anyway,
Okay, so I was trying to get actually Cece to catch you in a fashion faux pas. That's why I didn't give you a heads up.
well, that's
Fashion
easy.
faux pas.
All right, that's easy.
But my question is this, and I was listening to the show before, right? And you guys talked about, if you dwell, you're not well.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about basically recognizing through experience those moments when you're basically either falling into a repetitive behavior
Right.
pattern, or things. How do you differentiate between when those moments are indicators for taking a risk, and when those are not, but they're indicators for walking away? What is the differentiator? What is that?
When do you keep going? When do you turn around?
Because
Okay,
things could be disruptive, right? And we
Right.
talk about disruption these days all the time, and this is disruptive, and even businesses sell themselves on the fact that, hey, we're a disruptor in our industry. That disruption is a double-edged sword, right? How
Right.
do you actually recognize and identify in your personal life and in your professional life, and is it different when that disruption is a positive?
So
things
when do you
to
keep
follow,
banging your head on the
good,
door,
and
or when do you finally go find another door? Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Well, that's a great question. And I think for me, it is one, I evaluate the situation, but more importantly, I evaluate my foundation. What growth is that really going to impact, not only within myself, but with others around me? Is it something that is aligned with my path and my passion? I think that's how I evaluate some of those things. The risk, well, there's a risk whether I do it or I don't do it. What is the benefit of taking that risk versus not taking it? So those are the questions that I ask myself.
But what happens when you don't have that? You don't know what the benefits are. What if it's the first time that you're experiencing something?
Well, then again, I look at, is this great for my growth? Is this part of allowing me to grow with pushing me out of my comfort zone? Is it aligned with my vision, my goals? If that's the case, then I'm willing to step into something that I don't know how, but I will learn it. But it'll be a great experience.
She also has a pair of dice she carries in her purse, just in case.
just in case I can't
Roll
make
the
up my own
dice,
mind.
yeah.
All right, I have a magic 8-ball in my pocket.
Yes,
Same thing.
that works too. Yeah, but that's a good question. I asked the guest too here, Terese. When do you know to be persistent and push on? Everybody says you can't. No. You got to be persistent. Keep pushing. And when it finally, wait a minute, I'm wasting my time. There's somebody's trying to tell me something. This ain't working.
All right, so here's the short answer, and
Okay.
that is I go within, and I believe that. I mean, there's a reason.
You go with what?
I go within,
Oh, go
right? I
within,
go
okay.
within, and most people are making all their decisions right here, and
She pointed to her head. Those of
Right.
you on the radio.
and so here's the thing: is that there's a reason I actually call my business Beauty for the Soul mentorship. Is that we have souls. Why wouldn't our business also have a soul?
Right.
And I have always had the most success making any kind of decision, whether it's to persist or to walk away. When I just go quiet, people underestimate quiet.
Sure.
And I'm a big believer. I'm a big proponent of meditation. And I don't care if it's 10 minutes or if you're like, that's your lifestyle and you've been doing that, you've been, almost yogi level. But I have learned that we always have the answers that are right for us. If we can just stop all that chatter.
Right.
Most people are always trying to check in with everybody else.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
That's true.
What do you think I
Yeah.
should do?
Right.
And the reality is that what do you really think you should
Right.
do?
Well,
And, yeah.
don't you think, Terese, also that when we're doing that, we're not sometimes looking for affirmation of what we already know, but in fact, we're looking for
encouragement,
almost permission to
Yeah.
not listen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
very, very much so. But I think that after a couple birthdays, hopefully people have gained. You know, one of the things about being an entrepreneur is that hopefully you've gained not only the resilience that we talked about, but, you know, we go back to self-worth.
Right.
Right? When you understand your worth, then you also trust your decisions. And the more confident you are, you make quick decisions that you're at peace with. There's something, you know, when you make a decision that you're always questioning, well, you're not at peace with that decision. But the more confident you are, and the more, you know, the more you are self-reliant as far as you know that no matter what comes at you, you've got this. There's this innate ability on the inside that you've got this. And so whatever somebody has to do to get to that place, that's what you want to do. Because then you can make the decisions like that.
Well, we got to make a decision to cut it off here. Anything else, Rod? Because we got to.
Yeah. Just one thing. So, would you ladies, when you come back from the break, would you take some time and actually delve that? As some people know, like Paul and Cece know me, I don't usually ask questions unless I have an ulterior motive.
Always.
Manipulative that way, right? So the reason why I asked that question is because I think what may be valuable for listeners when you guys come back from the break is to spend some time about how do you reach that point? How do you trust to read yourself enough to give yourself the space to reach that point where you are your best counsel? Because a lot of people have self-doubt. Some of it is self-inflicted. Some of it is
almost everybody does.
Everybody.
Right. And so how do you, to quote the Eagles song, you know, how do you take it easy and stop your own wheels from driving you crazy? How do you get to the point where you are able to be that confidant and trusted counsel to yourself? That would be interesting to spend some time on, maybe. And thank you very much for letting me share the time, Cece.
Thank you.
Have a great time after the break, guys. Thanks, Paul.
All right. All that and more right after we take this break here on the Rad Life Special Edition. Everyone knows that moving is one of the most stressful times in a person's life. And the worst part? Searching for cardboard boxes. It's absolutely prehistoric. Digging through dumpsters, going from store to store, buying stacks of them you're only going to throw away later. Well, now there's an answer. Bungo Box. Bungo boxes are durable, stackable, eco-friendly, plastic moving containers that will cut the cost of your packing supplies in half. And they're made of hard plastic, which gives you much more protection for your precious belongings. Much better than cardboard. Bungo boxes hold over 100 pounds per box, plus our boxes never, ever need tape. That's right, no tape. But since our Bungo boxes come with fitted dollies, your movers will move at the speed of light. So whether you, your friends, or your office are moving, there's really only one solution, Bungo Box. Find out more at bungoboxoc.com. That's bungoboxoc.com. Or call 714-725-7292. You order them, we deliver them. You move, we pick them up. That's bungoboxoc.com. All right, the phone calls keep coming in. We have somebody else with us. Caller, identify yourself.
Yes, it's Ezra Leyton.
Do you have any relation to the great Cece Leyton that's in here today?
Well, you know, I was going through my internet here, and I came across OC Internet Radio.
There you go.
I heard this just amazing voice.
Unbelievable, yeah, really.
You are so sweet, my love.
It totally caught my attention, and I couldn't stop, but I was mesmerized.
Yes.
Very intrigued by the conversation the ladies are having, and one question I'd like to pose to both the ladies, Cece and your guest, is, you know, in starting new businesses, a lot of times we have people who, you know, usually go to your family or friends and say, I've got this great idea. I think I can make a life out of this, and I can really build a business on it. And unfortunately, some of our closest family, even friends, will say, you can't do that. So you get a lot of people who are the naysayers.
Right.
I think that's the first group that says nay. Nah, forget it. Come on, keep your job. Yeah.
It's usually your closest friends, true.
Right.
But there are those that believe in you, and I'm just wondering, and I'll drop off the line to let the ladies answer, is how do you deal with naysayers? And then also, how do you also deal with toxic people? Because, you know, some people, they look at life as the glass is half full, and then the other people look at it as half empty. And it's nice to fill your life with people who are positive, who are always uplifting, because we do have so many challenges. So it's wonderful when you have family and friends that support you. But then you have the other people who are saying, you know, that's not going to succeed. You probably shouldn't do that. But
or maybe they're jealous. If you succeed, then they feel bad. You win, they lose. They think how somehow. Yeah.
I would agree, is because it's probably a reflection on themselves. Or
yeah.
at their
if you
own
can do
life,
it, why can't I do it? So if I keep you back, then we're all comfortable here. Yeah.
It's so true, so true. So if you ladies could touch on that, I'd love to hear that. And thank you so much for the show. I enjoyed the Raad show, and especially hearing Cece on there today. So proud of you, and continue on. So I'm going to drop off the line. And
thank you for your call, Ezra.
All right. So it kind of ties in with what Raad was going for, this inner voice, this inner strength, this inner self-worth that somehow allows you to stand up to friends and family who maybe think they have your best interest, but they're going to say, don't do that. You're going to get, like your parents, you're going to get hurt. You're going to fail. I don't want to see you do that. Or others that might be jealous and holding you back, or just negative people. How do you internally overcome that?
I think for me, I've learned to really be true to what is my passion. If I stay true to that passion that fuels my purpose, then I know I'm on the right path. We will always encounter individuals that will try to hold us back, with, like he said, not believe in us. But again, it goes back to that inner soul of knowing your value, knowing that we are created uniquely to make an impact around us.
But can I be difficult? You say that like that's easy.
Right. It took me years to get to where I am today.
Yeah.
It absolutely did. It's not easy, but it's possible. And once you know your purpose, everything else does become easy, Paul. It really does.
So I'll just pursue this for a second, then your guest can answer. How do you find your purpose? That everybody right now, half the audience is laughing and rolling their eyes, saying, "Oh, come on, everybody knows their purpose." I'm going to tell you, the other half is going, I'm glad he asked it, because for my whole life I don't know what my purpose is.
Well, the way I found my purpose is truly through God, but He really revealed to me the things that I had a challenge with, the obstacles early on in my life and my youth. That is what ignites my purpose, because I know what it's like to not have the support, for people not to believe in you. And I've been blessed to have great mentors in my life that have seen something in me that I never saw before. And so, Terese, you know that importance of mentorship and the impact that you have in someone where you see where not where they're at, but where they can be. And once you tap into that, your purpose is revealed. And that passion and that courage and that love and strength is given to others to do the same.
But to go back to your husband's question, there are many around you, many who are there, either not good people that you're around and you don't realize that they're holding back, or just because they're scared for you, like your parents. Don't go out and cross the street, you're going to get hurt, so I'm going to hold you and keep you here, because I think somehow falsely that will protect you and keep you safe. You're saying that mentorship is important.
Absolutely.
There's also negative mentorship. There are people around us. I felt that. I grew up in the Midwest, and everybody sort of controlled. She said she grew up in Wisconsin. I grew up in Michigan. And the majority of the people back there, the minute you say something, they go, no,
Right.
that's kind of scary. Let's just stick with the norm. Don't rock the boat. That's why I came to California, because they love rocking the boat out here. But back there, they don't like rocking the boat.
So I'm going to jump in here. And so something you said, I'm going to just kind of touch on something you said, Cece, and that is you talked a lot about purpose. And a simple truth around that is that when you find your why, you find your way.
Absolutely.
Right? When you find your why, you find your way.
Absolutely.
He's writing that down. I love that.
Yeah, I
and
like that.
I know. And so here's
Have you ever seen the famous YouTube video about Find Your Why? And I've forgotten the guy's name, but he's very famous now, and it's all about companies should find their why. Don't tell me what you do, tell me why you do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So my response to how to handle all this and the negative feedback, especially with family and friends, is that one of the things that I've always strongly, and it is the foundation of what I mentorship on, and it's the foundation of how we really build our self-worth, is that the people we spend time with, they are our mirror.
Right.
Okay, they are our mirror. And so I believe in something that I believe in understanding the difference between the balcony people in your life and then the basement people in your life.
That's an
right?
interesting one, right?
And so if somebody were to ask me in short, what do I think some of the, in fact, I get this question a lot. And so they say often, you know, what do you feel is one of the most important, or if not the most important reason you've been successful? And number one today is, you know what makes you happy.
Right.
Because if you don't have any clue to what makes you happy, well, therefore, good luck being happy.
You're not happy.
Right?
Absolutely.
But after that, it's influence. Influence is everything. And everybody, you know, today pretty much understands, you know, that, you know, we are this, you know, we're not the sum of, but the 5 people that we spend the most time of, right? That when it comes to income, if you're hanging out with people that are all millionaires, chances are you're the 6th millionaire. If you're hanging out with people that are all struggling for finances, and that's the topic, misery and lack, and, you know, and what comes out of those conversations, but repeat of the same. And so balcony people, Cece, are the people that, so you want to know, you want to, first of all, you want to identify who you are allowing to influence you in life.
Right.
Okay. Because if influence is everything, and everybody that you are surrounded, the 5 people you are spending the most time with are your mirror.
Right.
Then you want to go through. So first of all, something this is actually a strategy. Make a written list. You don't have to show them the list. You don't have to tell anybody
you're not
they're on the
list. I
right?
can't hang out with you.
That's right. But you have to know.
Kind of like at a nightclub here. Are you on the list or not here?
Yeah. But see, people don't, you know, this simple little understanding, we are the expert of us.
Absolutely, yes.
And so make a list.
I thought that's what you're supposed to find through marriage and everything else here. You're supposed to find somebody who's going to be the expert in you here and tell you how to live your life. Your parents, and then your.
That would not work.
Can I just interrupt for 1 second? I did just. Anybody was quickly trying to Google it like I did.
Sure.
It's Simon Sinek. I don't know why I couldn't think of it.
Perfect.
Sinek. Very famous. He actually wrote a book, Find Your Why, and has websites about all this and great talk. And it's all about find your why,
And
how
you know,
to, why to.
Who else is touches on that topic is John Maxwell.
Yes.
Your why.
Yes.
Well, and again, it's not really anything new, but the simpleness of when you find your why, you will find your way.
Yes.
And most people think they have to have it all figured out. You just have to find your why and then start. You know, having the dream is great, but you have to activate the dream.
Right.
And it's the why that helps you to activate. But I really want people to understand that if influence is everything, if you can simply identify those 5 people that right now, in your entire life, right now, current life, not entire life, current life, who are you spending the most time with? And just combine your personal life with your business life right now. Make a written list of those 5. Now go back and identify, because some people might be going, well, what's the balcony? What's the basement? So let me just quickly speak to that. Because when you understand this, it can actually be a huge, not just awakening, but enlightenment can happen. Right. And so,
do I have to count my old drunk brother-in-law who sleeps on the couch here?
If you're spending time with him every day, Mr.
You might have to reevaluate that.
Yes. Adios.
Or my old buddies from high school that come over and just want to drink my beer.
I think that there's also a time or a season for all our friendships, right? We have those friends where you can hang out for 5 minutes, and then you have friends, and this is in partnerships too, in business, where you can walk through life. And so again, to that topic is who are you spending
allowing
the most?
to influence you?
Yes,
That's really what it is. So list those 5 people that right now, and we evolve, and so oftentimes then we can relocate and life changes. So that's why, you know, in the last 6 months, who have you spent and who are you currently spending the most time with?
I'm hanging out with you guys from now on. I'm calling all my other friends and telling them they're out here. Hey, so before we run out of time here, we only got about 5 minutes left. The topic, and as often happens here, we wandered far afield here. But I don't want to leave without giving you a chance to talk about, which could be a little controversial, that your self-worth is connected to your net worth. We're told that the two have nothing to do with each other. It's not.
I don't know who you're listening to.
I'm listening to my old drunk brother-in-law on the couch.
Yeah. So, and I mentor a lot of amazing people that you would assume from the outside looking in, they've got it all together.
Right.
Doctors and attorneys and other coaches. And on that little side note, because we talked about how mentorship matters, and when somebody is, I believe in mentorship. In fact, mentorship gives you the edge. It gives you an incredible competitive edge, but you have to pick wisely.
Right.
You have to be willing to look behind the corner. And one of the things my dad said is that if you're going to take wisdom or advice from anybody, make sure it's someone you would exchange places with.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
And so anybody that is really looking for guidance, mentorship, coaching, look behind the curtain. Make sure they're living the life that you want.
It's so important
Yes.
that just doesn't transcend only in business, but their life, right?
Right. Make sure it's the life and the lifestyle, because you'd be surprised how many life coaches are living in rented bedrooms and have nothing.
What? Really? Here in Orange County?
Right.
Come on.
Right.
I'm going to give you a weird analogy, but I had a friend of mine who used to like to go to the horse track races, so he'd drag me along. And the first thing he'd do is go and find all these, hardcore horse racing addicts that are there, and they all look like bums. They're all broke, but they all had the tip on the next race. And I'm like, what does this guy know? He looks like he's homeless. Why are we listening to this guy? Oh, he's here every day.
Right.
Well, obviously not working. Yeah, right.
Right, exactly. And so, because when you have for example, Beauty for the Soul mentorship and what I do with my clients and who have, I think, I often talk about, Robin Williams is the beloved Robin Williams is a really great example why our own personal happiness has to come first.
Yeah. What a sad story. Seemed like he had everything, and he seems out, now finds out he really had nothing but misery.
And again, it's because a lot of us will at one point, and I say a lot, but I include myself in everything so I don't offend anyone, but live through that facade, right? And what we want to show people, make others happy. And you get lost in that, and the sadness is within you. Again, changing that around. There's a lot of people who are not going to see our path or agree with our path, be part of our path. But if you're on that path of purpose, then you're happy. That happiness starts to come out. The why starts to show up even greater in your life, and you start impacting others.
Well, your purpose and your path can also expand.
Yes.
Most people shrink, and so we have to be willing to grow, right? And as we grow, our goals grow. But again, to answer the question about self-worth, right? And that is when we have a higher self-worth, and it's confidence, it's low self-esteem. And I've always believed that God's greatest challenge in life isn't to keep us humble. It's that we know our worth. Then we're in business-wise, what does that transcend to? Well, we're willing to charge the rates. We're not willing to discount. We're willing to show up. We're willing to risk rejection. We're willing to ask for what we want. We're willing to decline something that we know we should be saying no to. Self-worth actually gives you this posture that and posture isn't certainly how tall you stand, but it's what you bring to the world. You know your gifts.
Oh, I love her speech. Oh, yes.
Now, I grew up as you did in the Midwest.
Yeah.
That's not the message I got. It's be humble. Even if you've got it, don't show it, don't flash it, don't flaunt it. Be humble, it was always
modest.
Modest, yes.
Modest. Right, but I'm not talking
how
about
you show
being
up,
flashy.
how you live, everything.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about arrogance at all. We're not. Self-worth is deeply rooted. It's a soul level thing. I'm not talking about flashing, everything gadget or flashing anything.
I think there is that difference between being arrogant and confidence.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Completely.
And it's a fine line sometimes.
Well,
right?
and it's not an ego thing, right? Ego. I think Dr. Wayne Dyer, when he probably, and Deepak often refers to this, Tony Robbins refers to this, they go back to the masters, and ego, EGO, is really edging out God.
Yes.
And
so true.
It is. And so stay connected to, we really do know.
And I think the humbleness comes in where you can apply think of I do this, where when I started, how timid I was, how afraid I was, and always keep that in your heart to guide you and ground you.
Well, being grounded is really important, and being from the Midwest, but you don't have to be from the Midwest to be grounded. You can start from today and completely change your life experience. But going back to, let's just kind of bring this to a close, and that is, I was that young girl that I stuttered when I spoke, had a lisp, still does show up sometimes. I definitely was on the bully side of, the receiving side of that. I didn't have any self-confidence. I was told almost every day from my mom that I was worthless. And so why do I do what I do today? Of course, it's highly connected to how I don't want to live. And if I can, my hindsight, a true mentor understands that their hindsight can now be somebody else's foresight.
Yes, absolutely. You can take that pain and allow it to be something beautiful that fuels you, but yet impacts others because you've been there.
Absolutely.
So how do people reach you if they want to learn from your hindsight and turn it into a foresight here?
Wonderful, wonderful. So first of all, I do have a website, and it's beautyforthesoul.me.
Is that spelled out or the number 4?
It is spelled out.
Beauty for the Soul.
.me. And then also, they can find me on Facebook, Terese A. Santos. But here's what
Let's spell it before you do that, because I fumbled with Terese myself here today.
That would be my father's doing. He chose that name. So it's a Terese, middle initial A, which you need to find me, and it's Santos. Clearly, I married a Latino.
Good Irishman. Okay.
And here's the other thing, and I'm so delighted to do this. And once a month, I offer something at my boutique office called Women and Worth. And it's a 2-hour kind of mini masterclass, speed mentorship. Organic networking happens, and I happen to be doing my next one, which is next week, Wednesday, April 18th. And again, my website has the details, but it's such a great way for me to meet you and you to meet me and kind of get a feel for each other's energy. And I invite, I always sell out. My office, it holds about 25.
Wow,
but
nice.
It's a wonderful space to come and
can I ask
get
you one
started.
last quick question? And I have to be quick because we're almost out. But I can't help but think we have another show on the network, Women Kicking Glass.
Yeah.
And always talking about women empowerment. And it's a woman who was a former, very high-level executive at Microsoft, and she runs the show.
Sure, I know who she is.
And anyway, the point of it that I hear over and over again, and I still find hard to believe as a man, is that women are still maybe more impacted by self-worth than men are. Men are still brought up to think, you can do it, buddy, and the women are still thought, well, think of somebody else first here.
Well, and here's the reality of that, and that is today, true fact, true story, less than 2% of all female entrepreneurs earn over $50,000 a year.
Wow.
Less than 2%.
Wow.
And so we have a long way to come when it comes to that. And self-worth is really at the core of a lot of this, is that so that's why I stand on this. Women are starting businesses at a rate of 3 times more than men. But why is it? Only
there's a limit.
2% of them are making over $50,000 a year.
Wow. Yeah. And that's, again, goes
that's
back
the
to
self-worth.
Knowing your value, knowing what you bring differently than anybody else.
And making sure that you have wise business mentorship.
Yes.
Because you do need to not go this alone, because people are overspending. They don't know what direction to go. And having a goal without direction.
But really quick also, knowing what your competitors are making, whether they're men or women, knowing that is such a key factor to know when you walk in that you know your value. Yeah,
what was the famous movie recently with, what was it, Matt Damon or somebody like that, that they, two people in it for part, one man, one woman, he got paid millions. They asked him to come back and refilm a scene, and he got millions, and his co-star got peanuts. And then it came out, and he was kind of embarrassed and said, "I'll
Right.
give you some of my money here." I think it was Matt Damon, wasn't it, or somebody like that?
I don't remember which actor.
But anyway,
it was.
the whole point
That was
is
cool.
two people,
Yeah.
one man, one woman walked
Yeah.
in. They didn't know what they were each making. He got millions, she got bupkis. Yeah, and they were
Yeah.
both stars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
All
thank you
right.
so much, Cece. How do they reach you if they want to learn more about what you do?
They can reach me at ccelavida.com or on my Instagram, which is the same, Facebook the same.
And spell it for us, because
C-
Cece is another one I'd struggle with.
It's CECE, La Isla Vida. It's LAISLAVIDA.
Okay. All right. Thank you, girls, for coming in and sharing
Thank
a
you.
different
You're
perspective on the Rad
welcome.
life that we're used to hearing here. We'll see Rad back next week, and we'll hopefully see you guys come back again. And
Absolutely.
you're welcome anytime to come host, and we'll give it a different slant here. It's always good to hear a different perspective, and that's what the Rad life's all about here. So, all right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for next week.
You have been listening to the Rad Life Radio Show with your host and age explorer, Rad Gantos, brought to you on the one and only OCTalkRadio.net. Join us again next week as we continue our journey of discovery into life's challenges, opportunities, options, and all the latest and greatest things that come with getting older.